Look at that beauty, guys. Woo! Today is the day. We're going to be making homemade enchilada sauce for canning. Now, this is something I have talked about for years on my channel. You guys always see it on my shelves, and I never get around to making the recipe. But today is the day because I'm down to 1 jar left in the pantry, and we need to restock before that pantry challenge. Now, there is nothing better than homemade enchilada sauce. It is fantastic. It works on so many different dishes. We're actually going to be making enchiladas this weekend, so maybe I'll put a little splice of that in. But as you guys know, this year was just a pitiful year for tomatoes on the homestead. Normally, I would be making this with our frozen, fresh from the garden sort of tomatoes. But today, you're in for a real treat. We are making it with canned crushed tomatoes. So it's kind of a recipe that even if you don't have your own garden, you can make this. It is super, super, super simple and goes relatively quick, which is something I really like. So really making enchilada sauce is very, very similar to my buttered chicken sauce. The spices are a little different, but the process is pretty much the same. It is a tomato base. Now, I know there'll be people that'll jump on this because enchilada sauce traditionally is not a tomato-based soup. It is a pepper-based soup sauce. Boy, I'm having trouble sometimes. Anyways, traditionally it is a pepper-based sauce. So we're still going to be using some jalapeno peppers in this, but for the most part, similar to the butter chicken, we're just adding a whole lot of spices to give it that more authentic taste. So without any further procrastination, we are going to get busy. You need 1.5 cups of onions, which I'm using 2 kind of medium size, which should give us that. 6 cloves of garlic and 4 jalapeno peppers. You basically want it to equal out to 1/2 cup of really finely chopped jalapeno peppers. So when it comes to chopping up my garlic, onions, and peppers, I'm using my handy dandy little whizzer. I love it because it's just a nice little container to do it in. It gets it really fine quite quickly, and that's what I like. Handy gadget to have. I love it. You're going to see it come out a bit later because we're also going to use it to whiz the sauce to make it nice and smooth when it comes time. So we're going to get these onions chopped up into nice little bits. Then we're going to get our garlic and our peppers done the same way, whizzed up in this little guy. And then on to making the magic happen. Now, as you can see, I'm putting that pepper right in with that garlic because the garlic doesn't chop up as small as it could, and it'll just get more chopping as I add the peppers in. So we'll get all 4 of these in there, chop them up, and then we'll start cooking. And the wonderful thing is, that's it for chopping in this recipe. Done. Because those tomatoes are in a can. I'll tell you, sometimes it's hard to convince myself it's worth growing them rather than just using pre-processed ones. But I know there is good there. So we're going to get our olive oil in the pan. We're going to drop those onions and then the mixture of the peppers and garlic in. Get that frying off a little bit. And then we're going to add our 3 cans of tomatoes. So you can hear that kind of bubbling away. We haven't added our tomatoes yet, but I wanted to kind of just show you. So this came from a book. It's Tomato Canning and Specialty Recipes from Bernadine. I have no idea what year this is. Now in here, it's not actually enchilada sauce. It's picante sauce. And they call it enchilada sauce if you cook it down a little bit further. Now, with some research, I was like, no, that's not it. And so over the years, I've tweaked that recipe and tweaked it and tweaked it. And this is where I've gotten to so far. Doesn't mean it won't still be tweaked again, but I'm trying to see when this is from. 2000. So it's only 26 years old almost. But just saying, great little book, has some great ones. My ketchup recipe comes from this. There is certainly some great ones out of here that I will definitely keep trying to share. All right, so we are fried up enough for my liking. As you just saw there with the book, that's one thing that I do like to try and do for you guys is share if I have the source still for the recipes. I will admit some of my older recipes that I've been making for a very long time, I have no idea where they came from. It's just years of making them. But it is great to share it if I can find it, because if you guys can find those sources, you can reap the benefits as well. And there's our 3rd jar going in. This usually makes 5 or 6 pint jars. You could do them in the smaller jars, but we find we often use a pint jar. So now that we have that all stirred up with our tomatoes. It's looking great. We've got a nice thickness. We'll see how that goes. We're going to add our spices. So we're starting off with 3.5 teaspoons of chili powder. Tablespoons. That look like a lot more than teaspoons. Now this is a variable. You can go less or more depending on your taste. 2.5 teaspoons, and it is actually teaspoons, of cumin. 2 teaspoons of a kosher salt, pickling salt, anything like that. 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. This is wonderful, right from the garden. As you can see, I'm starting to get low. I'm going to have to break out 2025s. That's all that's left of 2024. 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. You could use regular paprika if you don't have smoked. I just really enjoyed the flavor of smoked. 1 teaspoon of pepper. 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Now we still have cayenne pepper to add to this. I don't add it until right before so that I can kind of do a taste test once all this gets heated up to know how spicy it is, because some of us like spicy, some don't, and so I try and find a nice medium ground. But I'm going to say usually it's about 1/2 teaspoon, but I always wait till the end because you never know how spicy those peppers are that you put in the first place. So we're going to get this to boiling, get our jars ready. The wonderful thing about this is it is a water bath canning recipe. That's why I do not put any broth in this, like beef broth or chicken broth, because I want to avoid having to pressure can it. You could, if this is a little too thick, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but if it's a little too thick, you could add some water or some vegetable broth if you happen to have that. I like a nice thick enchilada sauce anyways, so I probably won't do too much to this, but you do you. Where was I going originally before I got into that? Oh, the jars, that's right. So this is a water bath canning recipe, but for pint jars, you need to water bath can for 35 minutes, which means I don't have to sterilize my jars. Love that now. I don't know why that was a step that I just didn't enjoy or whatever, but it just seemed like such a process to sterilize the jars. Anyway, still do it for jams and jellies and that sort of thing, but when it's in the when it's in the water bath canner for 45 minutes, we don't need to bother. Just make sure they're clean and make sure you still heat those lids in that water, because that is an important step that you don't want to skip. So I'm going to get my jars ready and then I'll bring you back. All right, so before this thing gets going too crazy, we did a taste test, and the decision between Christopher and I was we are going to add that 1/2 teaspoon of the cayenne pepper. I don't use cayenne pepper. I just use the chili powder that's spelled with 2 L's, so it should be spicy stuff. So in that goes. We're going to get it stirred in, and then we will get it boiling. I think I'm going to have to add some water because this is my first time doing this with canned tomatoes, and they're thick. So it's just spitting everywhere instead of actually getting to a boil. So before this gets too hot and is spitting all over the place, which is already starting, I'm going to whiz this down same way I would my barbecue sauce or ketchup. Just makes a nice smooth consistency, which we all like here. Perfect. All right. Well, we've been about 20 minutes. I've had to maintain stirring this to keep it from spitting everywhere. Now, the one thing I would say is with my tomatoes, you would have been cooking it for that 30 to 40 minutes just to cook it down. They would have been a lot runnier. So like I said, first time using canned tomatoes for this. I'd never mentioned it actually, but if you were using like homegrown tomatoes, you'd be about 7 or 8 pounds of tomatoes to make this recipe. So let's get this going into some jars. I've already got my water bath canner heating up. I almost forgot a very important step. Lemon juice. We need 2 teaspoons of lemon juice in each of these jars before we put in the enchilada sauce. So let's get our lemon juice. My lids have simmered, so it's time to go. We're going to leave a 1/4 inch headspace on this. So once they're filled, I will report how many we got. I was thinking it was going to make 7. I don't know. It might only be 6 and a bit, but that's okay because I'm planning to eat some. Well, guys, our enchilada sauce is all finished out of the canner, ready to go into the pantry for storage. We ended up with 6 full jars and that 1 almost full jar. To be honest, I could have probably topped that up with water or something, but instead, we're going to be making that into enchiladas tonight. So definitely stay tuned for that recipe coming up, well, in the next video. All in all, I hope you give this recipe a try. Like I said, it's an enchilada tomato sauce. So it does have a few differences from an authentic enchilada sauce, but boy, the flavor is good. and it has some punch, and it really makes a really great enchilada casserole. So hope you enjoyed this recipe. It's one that's been a long time coming, and I am glad to finally share it with you. So stay tuned, because coming up after Christmas is going to be what we do with our leftover turkey.